Cretan mountains have a long history which begins from the bottom of the sea. The materials that formed them were gathered there 300 million years ago. Africa, approaching, pushed these aquatic sediments like a bulldozer and piled them into mountains. How do we know this? The material forming the mountains, limestone, consists of accumulated shells of tiny marine animals. Moreover, we may find other fossil animals within them. The impressive figure of Gigilos Mountain dominates the Samaria Gorge entrance. One of the animals brought by Crete's first settlers approximately 9,000 years ago was the Cretan wild goat, or agrimi. It managed to survive on Crete and to establish wild populations. However, it did not manage to cope with the spread of firearms during the early 20th century and became extinct from all of the island's mountain ranges except a restricted area in the Lefka Ori Mountains. It remains, however, a flagship species for Crete. Other flagship species are raptors, symbolizing not only the wild fauna, but a sense of freedom as well. The very rare lammergeier, the less rare golden eagle, and the fairly common griffon vulture dominate the mountain sky. The lammergeier, or bearded vulture, feeds exclusively on bones. Crete hosts the last Balkan population. The golden eagle preys upon hares, partridges, stone martens, and lambs. The griffon vulture strictly scavenges carrion. All three are in danger from human activity, and especially the use of poisoned bait. Smaller raptors like the kestrel are seen more frequently. Apart from these, there are many other less conspicuous species. Many of these are found on Crete and nowhere else. One of them, the Cretan wall lizard, may be found from beaches to an altitude of 2,000 meters above sea level. Other animals difficult to observe are the Cretan spiny mouse, the rock mouse, and the wood mouse. However, the traces they leave confirm their presence. Half of the mollusk species on Crete are endemic. Overall, there are more than 47 species on the Lefka Ori. Though inconspicuous, many of the arthropods found on Crete play key roles in the functioning of the ecosystem. Aside from animals, there are many endemic plant species as well. The high altitudes of the Lefka Ori in particular host a large number of unique plant species. Some of the characteristic endemics are the Cretan zelkova, Cretan mountain tea, Cretan marjoram, mountain sage, wild pinks, narrow-leaved milkvetch, and Cretan cinefoin. The abundant Calabrian pine, cypress, and Cretan maple are also characteristic of the area. In brief, the main characteristics of the area's biodiversity are that it comprises a large number of endemics, along with elements from the three continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe. At first sight, the mountains seem like a harsh and hostile environment. But living on an island where mountains dominate, your only choice is to come to terms with it, befriend it, and enjoy the benefits it offers to those that respect it. Possibly the first material humans exploited was that which the mountain offered in plenitude: timber. For shipbuilding, house construction, or simply as fuel, timber from the Cretan mountains was and is an important source of wealth. Despite the rough terrain, humans exploited every available piece of productive land, building dry stone wall terraces. We still see them even at high altitudes. Olive trees abound, reaching an altitude of 700 meters or more above sea level. Even in small quantities, olives played a crucial role for survival there. Highland communities completed their income and their diet by exploiting the diversity of aromatic plants which thrive on Lefkaori. The latter were also the base for the production of honey. Though produced in small quantities, it is of excellent quality. Beyond any doubt, though, raising sheep and herding goats was and remains the most important human activity in the mountains. It is the activity that has by far the most important impact in shaping the landscape as we experience it today. It has been practiced since antiquity, but not always with the same intensity. Combined with other activities, like exploiting timber, it drove the vegetation through alternative phases of recession and regeneration. During the past 30 years, stock raising has altered dramatically with three major characteristics: change of the ratio of goats versus sheep favoring the first, concentration of activity almost exclusively in highland communities, overall increase in the numbers of animals resulting in a proportionally higher impact on the ecosystem. These changes are due to per capita subsidies of stock, which in turn caused ecosystem degradation due to overgrazing in combination with use of fire as a management tool, lower productivity, and chaotic rural road building. However, raising stock remains the basic productive activity on the Lefkaori Mountains. It continues to shape the landscape, supports wildlife, and offers products of great quality. It should thus be sustained and reinforced within a modern legal framework and a rational system of subsidies to render it profitable both for the people and for the environment. Visitors to the gorge reach its entrance by crossing the Omelos Plateau. The gorge used to be the fundamental route between a large part of the province of Sfakia with Hanya. People did not use the entrance used today, but one further to the east, named Poria. At Xiloskalo, the modern entrance, which is at 1,200 meters above sea level, visitors may be informed about the natural environment of the Lefkaori and buy tickets to enter the gorge. From there, viewing the impressive Gigilos summit to the south, a steep descent of approximately 2 kilometers leads to the Nerutsiko spring. Along these first kilometers, the cypress tree dominates, mixed with pine and a few arboreal Kermes oaks. After Nerutsiko, the pine starts to dominate, and the first plane trees and oleander bushes appear along the small torrents. The path continues at a smoother slope for 2 more kilometers to the church of Aios Nikolaos at an altitude of 650 meters. The first signs of human inhabitation appear there: cultivated olive trees, dry stone walls, and buildings. The cypress trees around the church are probably the oldest in the gorge. The path surrounded with pines continues to the old village of Samaria, crossing the torrent several times. Along the path there are several springs and resting areas. Depending on the time of year, it may have running water or be dry. At the junction of the torrent with the main river, there is a conglomerate wall, a sign of an older blocking of the river's course. It is possible that the procedure of accumulation of materials, blocking the river and reopening, happened several times. The village of Samaria is at the 7th kilometer of the course, and one may reach it crossing a bridge over the main river. Houses, churches, olive groves, old terraces, and older constructions as fortifications around the village indicate that the village was inhabited a very long time ago. After Samaria, the trail re-enters the pine forest for 2 more kilometers, along which the walls of the gorge converge. From the 9th kilometer to the gorge's exit, visitors walk along the river, crisscrossing it several times. The gorge's walls are in some places vertical and bare of vegetation, and in others less steep with bushes and bent trees growing vertically on them. In some places, the walls have collapsed into smaller or larger screes. The flanks keep converging until approximately the 12th kilometer, where the narrowest part of the gorge, less than 4 meters across, is located. The local name is Sideroportes, meaning iron doors. The gorge's exit, where the tickets are controlled, mainly for visitor safety, is 1 kilometer from there. From the checkpoint located at the outskirts of the old village of Aia Rumeli, there are 3 more kilometers to cross before a refreshing dive in the Libyan Sea and the comforts of the local tavernas. Small boats carry people to the villages of Sfakia and Suya. The first way, which is the most common, follows the coast where one may see the medieval church of Aios Pavlos and the opening of 3 more gorges, Eligia, Aradana, and Iligas.